You wanted the best. You've got the best podcast. The hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
Hi, folks. It's Voss here from thechrisvossshow.com. Ladies and gentlemen, there, ladies, things that makes official 16 years, 2,600 episodes of the Chris Voss Show. We bring in the greatest minds on the show, the greatest learnings, the greatest sharings, the greatest educators, the greatest people who uplift you and make you better. None of them are me. That's why we have guests on the show. I'm just an idiot with a mic. But in the meantime, support these folks. Buy everything they sell on the show. And, of course, go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss. LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss, Facebook.com/Chris Voss, and YouTube.com/Chris Voss, and refer the show to your family, friends, and get them in on it. It's almost the holidays, folks, in 2025. If you're watching this 20 years from now on YouTube, like you guys do, so you want your friends and neighbors, relatives to be smarter when you go see them at Christmas or Thanksgiving, or just when you call them on the phone anytime during the year. So do it. Don't make me come over there. Anyway, guys, I'll just do the show from your front porch until you finally invite people to the show. Opinions expressed by guests on the podcast are solely their own and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the host or the Chris Voss Show. Some guests of the show may be advertising on the podcast, but it is not an endorsement or review of any kind. Today's featured author comes to us from bookstolifemarketing.co.uk. With expert publishing to strategic marketing, they help authors reach their audience and maximize their book's success. We have an amazing young lady on the show today. We're going to be talking to her insightful book called Attitude, Abundance, and Action: How to Create Motivation, Mindset, and Magic Around Money by Kath Orman. She joins us on the show today. We're going to get into it with her, and we're going to figure out how you can make your life better. From the sounds of it, I doubt that she has any data that makes your life worse. Certainly, if you have a good attitude, good abundance, and good action, you can make your life better. But you got a bad attitude? That's bad. Anyway, for many years, Kath has been on the journey of self-development and growth, and she blends this knowledge with the practical application of financial planning. She holds a diploma of financial planning and is a certified financial planner. She originally started in the industry in 1987, has run her own financial planning business, Goals and Dreams Financial Planning Party, or is it PTY Ltd since 2001? Yes. Is it Party?
Proprietary Limited.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're in Australia. That's why I don't understand some of these things. So I'm still learning the corporate structures in the down under there. All I know is
funny you say that, because we do have a lot. We've over the years have had a lot of parties at Goals and Dreams. So.
Oh well, yeah, I knew what was going on. Goals and Dreams and Financial Party. I want a business that's a party, and I can just write it off and have fun. So she grew up on a dairy farm in Mount Pleasant, north of Brisbane, in Queensland, Australia. She's an Aussie, and she comes from a very basic, humble, and grounded beginnings. Welcome to the show. How are you, Kath?
I'm very well, thank you. And it's such a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
It's such a pleasure to have you. Give us your .coms. Where do you want people to find you on the interwebs, please?
kathorman.com. That will take you to my website. And there's all information there, how to purchase the book. This is what it looks like. Attitude, Abundance, and Action. I actually took that photo up from the Whitsundays in North Queensland. So,
oh, wow. It's a beautiful picture.
It's just all the different colors in it. I loved it. Yeah.
Oh, the beautiful bay and the white sandy beaches.
Yes, yes.
I buy the book just for the cover, and then I just mount it on the wall.
Oh, there's good stuff inside as well.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a bonus. That's a bonus right there, as they call it in marketing. So give us a 30,000 overview. What's inside your book, Attitude, Abundance, and Action? Okay.
Well, may I read just a little bit to you? Is that okay? Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
So, how to use this book. Have you ever said any of the following? I'm hopeless with money. No matter how hard I work or how much I earn, I never seem to get ahead. I don't know how to budget. I'm always scrambling to pay the bills from one payday to the next. My partner handles all the finances. I have to keep working until I'm 90 to have enough money to retire. I'll never be able to travel the world. I'm so tired of just making ends meet. I'm just too busy and it's all too hard. Perhaps I'll get around to it one day. It seems others get lucky, but not me. And over all my years as a financial planner, which was nearly 38 years, the thoughts that people think and the words that they say, they don't realise how fulfilling that is. So if you say, I'm always broke, or I'm always this, or I'm, and what I've found when you gave people a goal, so the business was called, Goals and Dreams, Financial Planning, and asked people to write down what's on your wish list in life. Because so many people just keep postponing life. One day I'll do this, or one day I'll do that. But what I've found, when you give them some structure and direction, and I would always give, if there was a couple, husbands and wives, I would give them, okay, you write your wish list and you write your wish list. And people have said to me, are you a marriage counsellor as well? I didn't know he wanted to go heli skiing off the slopes of New Zealand, or, so it's all about communication, because often money is other things that people argue about. So it's getting their mindset right and the words that they're saying to themselves. Okay, in the book, I've elaborated and given people exercises to do, some pointers. Let's do this, and it's like a little workshop in the book. And simple things like when one particular lady, when she came in many years ago, she sat down and she said, Kath, I'm hopeless with money. And I said, okay, can we just stop right there and put that where it belongs and make it in the past? I was hopeless with money. So we can't change. We can't keep hoping for a better past, but we've got ways to step forward and move in the right direction. And that's been my absolute joy and pleasure, to take my clients by the hand and take them through. And we've got this huge postcard board in the Goals and Dreams office, probably about 700 postcards. Financial planning is very compliance driven and can sometimes be overwhelming. But when I get overwhelmed, I go and stand at the postcard board, and I help that person get to Paris, or I help that person buy their new house, or whatever it is. So all the things and the lessons that I've learnt along the way, because as human beings, we're always learning and growing, and if we choose to take a lesson and learn from it instead of wallow in it and stay in the pit of misery, we've got to elevate ourselves and work towards a goal, and don't forget to dream.
Yeah, don't forget to dream.
Yeah, what are the things you really want to do? And then what do we have to do financially? The other part of it, I worked in a bank for a long time before I was a financial planner, and I learned all about loans and term deposits in the banking world. And I was very fortunate. I had a boss who said, Kath, I think you'd be a good financial planner, go and do your study. Years later, he actually became a client. But when I was doing the study, I was like, how long's all this stuff been going on? I didn't know anything about this. And so I've spent my career trying to take the fear away from investing and replace it with knowledge, so people become more empowered, so that they can make decisions going, so that's what happens when this happens. And and then when we have the results where clients we go through the ups and downs and all the different things in the market. So the 3 areas in the book: attitude, about the thoughts we think and the words we use to ourselves every day, because quite often people to themselves are pretty cruel. Saying, your self-talk's not all that positive. And often say, would you say that to a dear friend or family member, someone you love? Would you say those things to them? And of course the answer is no. So it's to try and become more aware of what your self-talk is, because we're all energetic beings. And you know what it's like when you walk into a room and there's either really great energy or not. And the people that you want to walk towards and the people that you want to walk away from. If you can be mindful of that and create that environment around yourself, so you've got a more positive energy of belief in, hey, I can do this. Like if I want to go to America on a holiday, if I want to go to Paris, if or if I want to buy a house, it's changing that mindset. And I've been very fortunate. One of the lovely people who's read my book, his testimonial was, this book changed my life.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, that was so humbling. And doing financial planning, I've helped many clients along the way, but the book is a way to touch more people's lives and to make a difference going forward with this little workshop in a book. The attitude, what we were just saying, the abundance. Most people, when they think about abundance, is money, what's in the bank, what investments have I got, all of those sort of things. But every day there's so much abundance in the world that we take for granted quite often. The sun shines, or like we were just saying before, when I go for my morning walk, I'm very fortunate. Sometimes I see koalas in the trees, and that's very special even for an Australian. So just there's little exercises in the book about, what does abundance actually mean to you? What do you have abundance in now? What would you like more abundance in? So we elaborate on those areas.
There you go. You made me realize something. I had an epiphany. You're talking about I think the woman who said that she is a sort of person that has trouble with money. I think it was. I don't remember the exact difference, but and you helped her reframe that. I think is what they use the word for, into having that be in her past. I realized that one of the problems with the statements that people make, where you were correcting her, is that in the case that they're utilizing it personally, is it's an identity. I'm bad with money. That's my identity. And instead of separating the behavior from the person, they're making it all about them. And that's kind of, I just had an epiphany when you're talking about that. It hit me. I'm like, oh, it's an identity thing. They're making it their identity, as opposed to not making their identity, I suppose, and just saying, look, this is a behavior I have. I don't want this anymore. That's
exactly right. And quite often that behavior, or the language, the words that we use are often from our parents or grandparents, or it's come down the line. And our parents, most people do the best that they possibly can, but quite often they don't realize that attitude towards abundance and money and all of those sort of things is passed down, and it's just part of your vocabulary until you wake up and go, oh, actually I am creating my own world. The same as if you've got any friends who are always late. And and so in their vocabulary, in their mind, they're like, oh, I'm always late. So then the universe just conspires to make sure, okay, you want to be late, so we'll give you a traffic jam, or we'll give you a whatever. And when you start making those differences in your life and taking a step towards what you do want and away from what you don't want, it's really, really powerful.
Yeah. And I think, like you say, separating that from your identity and stuff. What was the motivation that made you want to write the book? What was it that made you go, I need to write this down?
Well, it's really it's a bit of a funny story. Deep inside, I've always had this thing that I would write a book one day. But I have this dear friend who is like a clairvoyant. She's a foot reader, a card reader, and I was seeing her a few years ago, and she was doing a card reading, and she said, oh, have you been practicing your signature? And I went, am I signing documents? I was trying to work out what she meant. And she said, no, if you're book signing. And I went, my book signing? She said, yeah, you're going to write a book. Oh, okay. What am I writing a book at? She said, what's that seminar you do? Attitude, Abundance and Action. And then many years ago, I used to go to Louise Hay's I Can Do It seminars that she used to bring down to Australia. And a few weeks later, there was an I Can Do It seminar down in Melbourne with a writer's workshop. So the idea started, and then as happens, clients were coming in and saying, "Oh, you've made you should write a book, Kath. You should." And I'm like, "Okay, I will." Okay,
Got it, people. All right, the darn book already.
And I must admit, trying to write the book and run a business with staff and clients and everything was a bit of a challenge. But it's. I have two children. I started this business as a single mum. They're now adults in their early 30s. So it was a bit of a challenge because I was a female in a male-dominated industry. My first conference was myself and 28 men, and I'm 5'10". I stand out already anyway, so there was nowhere to hide. But as I went along with financial planning, I realised as women we have that extra empathy and understanding and that possibly is different to, and I have many beautiful male financial planning friends, but it's just to bring something different to it. And I worked for a bank for a long time. I was a financial planner there, but then my values were being compromised, and so I just went, I've got to start my own business. So that was the beginning in 2001. It's just been a really interesting journey. So I've got the two kids. The business was like my third child, and now my book is like my fourth child. So so there could be a fifth and a sixth.
We'll just build a whole football team there. Now, you talk in the book, there's 3 different main segments, from my understanding. There's attitude, abundance, and action. Let's delve a little bit, tease a little bit of this out. Why is attitude important, and how does it hold us back or help us move forward?
Exactly sort of what we've been talking about. It's if you believe something can happen, and I think that's often when I take clients by the hand, and I'll give you an example. So I had clients who moved from Western Australia to Queensland, and on their wish list, they still had about 15 years to go to retirement. They said, in retirement, we'd like to go to New Zealand. And Western Australia, like way on the other side of Australia, is a big country. To New Zealand is a long, long way. Brisbane to New Zealand is about a 3-hour flight. So it's very different. So within a very short period of time, we had things structured for them, putting money aside for their retirement, but also a holiday account too, an enjoyment account. And within 18 months, they went to New Zealand, and they sent a postcard and said, "Thank you for giving us permission."
Oh, wow.
And I went, oh, like I've still got goosebumps all these years later. Now, they have only just retired now, but on the journey, they've been to Canada, they've been to Europe, they've done so much travel that they didn't think they'd be able to do until they could retire. So it's realizing sometimes people's thoughts are the things that are holding them back, where if you think, oh, I can't do this or I can't do that, there may be a way to help you get there. Let's change your thinking and let's change your motivation to do something that you really want to do, instead of just, oh, payday's come, I've paid all the bills and I've got nothing left. Which is a lot of, that lack of abundance thinking, that attitude. And it's easy, to get into that mindset. But becoming aware of how you get yourself out of it. In the book, I've got a little diagram. Life happens, and we've all had our fair share of stuff. I've been divorced, and family illnesses and all sorts of things. Things happen, and you're allowed to grieve, and you're allowed to feel all those feelings. But I call the pit of misery. If you're in there, only allow yourself to be in there for a little while. The sun's still shining and the birds are singing, and don't move in with your TV and your couch. There's a ladder. Get out and enjoy. Realize what blessings you do have. And another quick little thing that helps people when they're in. My kids hated this, and they throw it back at me now, which is quite funny. When they're having a good whinge about something, and I'd say, "Fortunately," and they'd look at me like, and I'd say, "Tell me something that's good about this situation." So it would switch their thinking around from what was blah, blah, blah to something that was fortunate. And it is so funny as adults if they throw that back at me now. But it's just a quick little thing to make you realise the words that you're saying and the thoughts that you're thinking are either moving you forward or keeping you stuck where you're...
Language is very important. We've kind of inferred stuff about abundance, which is the second thing there. We talk a lot about the show. A mindset of scarcity usually leads to, not having anything. And a mindset of abundance usually leads to, rising tide lifts all boats. We can all help each other and we can all share in the bountifulness of it. Tell us your thoughts on abundance.
Oh, look, absolutely. It's just amazing to watch when people change from that lack of abundance to say, oh, well, actually, I do have an abundance of health or happiness or, there's a lot of things that I do have because I've worked with very wealthy people and they might have the money, but they may not have the health, or they have, situations that the money doesn't bring happiness. Helps you look for it in more places, but it's not everything. And the bigger that your heart is, and the bigger that you, like I love to, share. When my kids were little, we had a World Vision. We had a little child in Africa that we helped so that they would understand that not everybody has the abundance that we have. But being able to hop into a car or a plane, wow, how special is that? There's really looking at what really means a lot to you and what are the things that you want to do, and then how do we help you create that abundance in your life? And I've just seen it so many times when people thought they couldn't make a difference in their own life, and we got them on the right track, and they became more focused on what they wanted to do, and then they could start ticking off the things on their wish list and feeling more empowered. And that's a wonderful thing to witness over years and years and years. And I'm so blessed. I have so many clients that have become friends over all those years. And we did, going back to the party thing, we did have Goals and Dreams winery tours, which was fabulous. And just being able to share laughter and happiness and what brings abundance mentality to you, what makes you feel happy in your life. Like I had a family party here on Sunday, and where my nieces and nephews used to come when they were little. They've all grown, partnered now, and then their kids are here. And it's just such joy to see them all in the pool, splashing around and having lots of fun. So what means a lot to you? Helping clients also get that financial abundance to be able to, hey, let's go to Japan and take the whole family. The kids and the grandkids or whoever, So it's just changing your attitude to abundance so that you think, okay, I'm not woe is me all the time. It's, okay, if I do this, this and this, then I can actually achieve this goal.
The third element you talk about in the book is action, increasing your knowledge and awareness about money to take the steps you need. And that's what a lot of people don't do. They may have a good attitude. They may have maybe a good mindset, but unless you take action, you're just kind of hoping and wishing and dreaming.
Absolutely. And again, there's lots of exercises. The book is like a little workshop. I've put simple examples of things. I've explained what this work and how this needs to be done, and do you have a will and enduring power of attorney? There's all these important, financial planning is like a jigsaw puzzle. There's all these pieces of it that need to go together, because you might have the best money structure, but if you don't have a will or an enduring power of attorney, it should something happen to you, then that can all come tumbling down.
Yeah.
So I've given lots of exercises in there, looking at what income you have, what is your budget. Now, most people hate the word budget, and it's very, yes, it's very, we know how much income is usually coming in. We know what our pay is. Yes, we've got to pay tax, but then are you surviving on your income, or are you drowning?
Oh.
Like, an example is I had a couple many years come in, both high income earners. They had a couple of kids. They wanted to, on their wish list, they wanted to get healthy. They wanted to give up smoking. So that was a good start for the health side. They wanted to go to South Africa. And then I went, after 12 months, you'll have enough money to go to South Africa if you give up smoking. But they also realised simple things like they were buying lunch every day, both of them, and spending $20 a day on lunch, you know. And I said, well, there's a couple of $100 a week just like that gone. Yeah. And because they wanted to get more healthy, they started buying more healthy food and making their own lunch and just having takeaways on a Friday or something. So that saved lots of money. And it was so funny because I remember this particular lady, when I asked her to do the budget, she said, do you want it to be real, or do you want it to be as it should be? And I said, do you want it to be about your life or somebody else's life? Because unless you address what the real situation is, then you're not going to be able to make a change to get your life on track. You know, where you said, well, if you really want to go to South Africa, and if you did give up smoking, well, that saves a lot of money, but and also makes you healthy. It's just things that, looking at where you are, where you want to be, what debt do you have, what's good debt, what's bad debt. Those sort of things, descriptions are all described in the book to give people an overview. Because I always gave my clients homework list, and I would physically write it down, and you know, they would write their wish list, do their budgets. Do they have a will and enduring power of attorney? Where's their superannuation? Who's nominated as the beneficiary? And they, without doubt, so many, like 99% of people would say, I knew this stuff was important, but I just never got around to it. You know, like superannuation, the nomination for the beneficiary, sometimes where they'd show me the report and I'm like, who? And I'd read this name out and it was their ex-wife or their ex-husband or something, and they were still nominated. So it brings together the things that are important, but also, you know, you're on a journey of life, and stop putting off the things that you want to do because you just do not know what's around the corner. We just don't know.
Yeah. You never know. Yeah. Well, good advice. Well, there was something I believe your 7-year-old grandson taught you, or
yes.
Yeah.
This is a funny thing. So, as a bit of a laugh, in my office, if I knew people have a sense of humour, I had a magic wand. So if I saw somebody who was 40 and they said, "Oh, I want to retire tomorrow," and they haven't kind of got the financial position to be able to do so, I would get the magic wand and I'd go, bling, you know, it has a little tinkle thing. And they would just look at me like, you're a financial planner and you've got a magic wand.
What kind of magic wand?
But it just made it, they had a laugh, you know, and they could take the emotion and the heaviness out of what a lot of people, you know, to come and talk about money is. Anyway, so the magic wand had endured for a long, long time. When the first copy of the book was printed, and they send you like the first copy to the final print to make sure that everything's, you know, all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed, and, you know, all of that sort of thing. And we were doing an offsite workshop with all my staff up at the Sunshine Coast, and it arrived at the office on the Friday. My daughter, being in the marketing sort of, she's a professional dancer and actress, so she's right onto all of these things. She said, "Oh, Mum, we have to film you opening it." So we went in on the weekend, and my little grandson, who was 7 at the time, said to me, "Nana, can I help you open it?" So it was quite a poignant moment for me, but for him to see as well. And he was really, really excited. He walked over and picked up my magic wand, came over, waved it over the book and said, "This book will sell more than 1 million copies." And I just looked at him and I looked at my daughter because I was like, what's my first print run should I get? And it was nowhere near 1 million. And I'm like, this little 7-year-old person, this little wise man is teaching the owner of Goals and Dreams to dream bigger.
Dream big. Oh, that's the great thing about youth. They have such a wonderful imagination.
Just beautiful. And the next day at school, he was saying, my Nana's a published author. Not she wrote a book, published author.
Published author.
And one of the book launches, we had some book and bubbles launches, which was a lot of fun.
Oh, wow.
And he sat in the audience and I was recounting that story. And the poor old magic one, I had it and it wasn't working properly. And he put his hand up. I couldn't have scripted this. He said, "Would you like me to show you how it works, Nana?" So he comes up and with a big boy and made it work, and everyone laughed. And when I was signing the books, he was putting them into little bags with a pen and a notebook and everything. And on the way home that night, he said to his mum, he said, Nana had some really interesting things to say. And I went, oh my gosh, it took me to be an adult to learn all this stuff.
Wow. And
if a little, 7-8-year-old can pick some things up about the words that you think and then what things that you tell. Uh-huh. So that was quite a poignant moment for me. Yeah.
It's interesting how they can sometimes be more clear-eyed than we are as adults. They can see right through the simple things.
Absolutely. And look, it really did make me, well, why am I thinking that, why not think big? Why not, And so
you should be a life coach at this point, and he's only 7.
I know. We call him our little wizard. Yeah.
So. Yeah. He's got it. He's getting it. He's on his way.
Yeah.
What do you hope people, when they read your book, what do you hope they come away with?
Well, my goal is that it will make a difference in their life. Mm-hmm. And some people have said, yes, I've read that and I'm doing this, but I need to do that and I need to do that. If their situation is more complicated, then right across the world, there are financial planners, financial advisors, people who can help you, because we have to do all the study and we know all the rules and regulations, whatever country you're in. And we know, don't you know, if you put this over here, we can get you a tax-free income and we can do, and take you by the hand. And when markets are tough, it's reassuring them that, the investments are still doing well, they're making profits. Those profits are being reinvested back in and buying when it's cheaper, teaching them things along the way. So I'd like people to be able to take ownership of their own life and do the exercises in there and, get on the right path. But if they do need help, there are, people all over the world who can help you and continue to make a difference.
Oh, well, it's been wonderfully insightful and uplifting to have you on. Thank you very much for joining us on the show. We really appreciate it, Kath. Anything more we want to promote on your website? Any upcoming events or anything more you've got going on we want to plug? Can people reach out to you to help them have you coach them?
Yes, absolutely. Just go to the website, and if you want to send me a personal email, kath.orman111@gmail.com. I'll be more than happy to reply. And yes, I'm putting different workshops together, and if people do, corporate speaking, because I've come from the corporate world, to be able to help people understand a way to put things across. And like as I was mentioning to you before, I feel very blessed that a marketing lady from Books to Life Marketing wrote me a poem, wrote me a song about my book, which it was inspired, which was totally overwhelming. So we're going to put that up on the website as well, which is just a beautiful tribute. And if anybody needs any help about anything, there will be events put up as they come along. I'm still newly into this adventurement game, an author in adventurement. I changed the word from retirement to adventurement. It's a word from the 1500s that isn't used anymore, but I'm bringing it back because, so I'm available to speak and do workshops and whatever if people would like to reach out. But they can purchase the book just going to the website or through Amazon. And I believe the trailer that's being released with this will have all the links and everything as well.
All right, sounds good. We'll look forward to seeing that. And you gave me the .coms as we go out, right? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, there we go. Well, thank you very much for coming on the show. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Chris, and hope you heal quickly.
Thank you. Doing the hernia surgery is always fun there.
Yeah.
So that's I was bored this weekend. I thought, what should I do? I could get surgery. 'Cause that sounds like fun.
Well, hopefully you'll be feeling a lot better before Christmas.
I should be. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Kath. And have a great holiday yourself as well.
Thank you so much.
Folks, order up her book wherever fine books are sold. It's entitled Attitude, Abundance, and Action: How to Create Motivation, Mindset, and Magic Around Money. You can find it anywhere you can find good books. A link on the Chris Voss Show as well. Be good to each other, folks. Stay safe. We'll see you guys next time.
You've been listening to the most amazing, intelligent podcast ever made to improve your brain and your life. Warning, consuming too much of the Chris Voss Show podcast can lead to people thinking you're smarter, younger, and irresistible sexy. Consume in regularly moderated amounts. Consult a doctor for any resulting brain bleed.
All right, Kath, that should